Hello viewers and welcome to my new video. It has been a while that I couldn't do videos because it is season year and there are a lot of activities happening. Uh, I'll be a little quick today and today I am going to discuss about the suspension which you require for any entry level guy who is trying to start off-roading or who has been off-roading for around 2 3 months and he wants to upgrade his suspension. So all off-roaders, all off-roading vehicles, they come with a capable off-roading suspension, but those have limitations. So that's why when somebody starts off-roading, I don't recommend them to do any changes to the suspension because anyway they're changing it, right? So drive it, learn some tricks, because once you have a modified suspension, which is capable of taking a lot of beating, you will not learn certain things. So it's always recommended to learn with those OE suspension, because there are a lot of things you may come. I cannot explain to you that experience, but yes, you tend to learn a lot of things if you are driving with OE suspension for a while. And then once you go into that performance or a different better suspension, you will you will be more capable of doing other things, because those tricks what you learn will be at your back and you may use it here and there to protect yourself and your suspension also. Give you a small idea. So when you are having a OE suspension, you drive over all this uneven surfaces in the desert. Sometimes you may encounter a pothole or a big hole. With the OE suspension, you may not take risk to do those at high speed. So you will stop, you'll find your own way out and then come out. But once you have a performance suspension, you just become careless because you don't feel what's happening, and then you just drive over the thing without even knowing what's happening under your wheel. So that you can do once you learn a lot of things and you are experienced. But when you're not experienced, you may put yourself into trouble with those performance suspension by not taking care of going over a hurdle. Anyway, so those people who are, this video is for entry level people. So those who are trying to learn how to do off-roading or who are new into this sports, I will suggest that you go with your OE suspension for some time, and then once you learn, come into a second level or a stage 2, stage 3 performance suspension. There are a lot of entry level suspensions available in the market. I will mention a few brands. You can say Fox. You have Robinson. You have Ironman. They're all very nice, and they have different stages also, so that you can select which one to do. So initially, if you have a Jeep or a Toyota FJ Cruiser or any other car you are driving, you can go for these suspension which are the entry level. You can go for the twin tube or the monotubes. They're all good. But once you go higher you drive, you'll feel the difference between the monotube and the twin tube, and then the advantage of having a reservoir and adjustables and certain stages of tuning, those comes later. For here, you go for something which is holding the wheel better on the floor. So, and you are having your driving skills coming up. So once you have selected your suspension, which brand you want to go, always remember, before you go to get something done on your car, decide on the tire first, the tire size. Once you selected your tire size, you can go ask any expert or watch videos about it. So it depends on different car as to which is the tire which you can use at what height, what suspension lift. So select your tire first and build your suspension around it. So you may sometimes have to add wheel spacers. You may lift the car, trim the fender or change the fender altogether. Um, Basically, you are creating more space for the tire to move around and up and down and sideways. So a suspension lift definitely helps um, doing these things. And that the wider the tire basically helps you float in the sand rather than getting stuck, and also allows the engine to be a little bit calm rather than having the thin tires always spinning at high speed to catch on to the sand. So the wider tire, the wider the tire, the better for floating in the sand. So keep your tires in the mind first, and then select your suspension. Depending on the car, you can contact any expert in any of these off-roading shops, and they will explain the things to you. Now today I have added one more what can I say, one more page to this video, whereby I'll be answering some questions from some of our friends. So one Mr. James has asked me that he and his friend had the same car, a Prado 4 liter, but his friend is able to climb the taller dunes better. He has been off-roading for past 2 to 3 weeks, and his friend has been off-roading for maybe 2 months. Well, please, you are not mentioned if your friend's car is modified. Basically, same car with the same engine has the same power. It comes to the driving skills, of course. At you need to know which RPM to be at what gear, and then of course the main and important factor is the momentum. You need to make a run in advance to create that momentum and be at the right gears at the right speed to do the climb. So can be learned by practice only. Apart from that, you can do a few tricks. You can bring your tire pressure a little lower. You can add a air filter, performance air filter kit into your vehicle, change the exhaust to make it free flow. All these things, small changes help the car to have more power and torque. Apart from this, you can switch off your AC for a while until you do the climb and come on, because AC also drags a little bit of power from the engine. So these few things you can do, and basic and the main important thing is the skill. So you need to practice to climb. You need to know the right momentum. You need to synchronize yourself with your vehicle, your gearbox, your engine RPM and all. And definitely after a few more weeks, I think you will climb equal to him or better than him. So practice the key. The certain tricks you need to do on your car. Check if your catalytic converter is not blocked. Make sure your plugs are good, your engine is good, working condition, the transmission is good. If it's a manual transmission, make sure there is no clutch slippage or worn out clutches in the car, because the clutch is the main thing which transfers the power from the engine to the transmission. So that also can make a difference. So yeah, it's all these things. Do practice a little more and you will do it. Now let me go to the second question. Second question is, should I switch off? No, that is switch off the car. That's for the saloon cars. I have different video for that. I think I missed that. Yeah, this is Mr. Rehan. Rehan is asking advice as for which spark plugs to use in his engine for better power. See, every spark plug manufacturer, the spark plug is something which never changed for a long time. And it's been recently only they are making 3 head, 2 head, 4 head. I don't know if there is a 6 head also, but there are a lot of heads coming up. And the sparking head, this one. So, which spark head or which spark do you want the engine to use? Because the engine is running at such a high RPM, there is no time for the second or third or fourth spark. But for this concept, I am not able to understand. Better conductivity in the spark plugs do help. And there are plugs which can withstand a lot of heat. So there are hot and cold plugs. So I will have a different video for that. But any good quality, well-known brands, spark plug will do. Iridium is something which most of the people are using. Some people are using silver plugs because silver has better conductivity of electricity and all this blah blah and blah. I don't know how much a difference you will have by changing the plug, but a good plug, good condition plug is more than enough. Maximum it is going to improve a 5 or 6 horsepower. I don't know. I am not going to vouch for it, but regularly keep your spark plug clean, and if you want, use a new one. So that's all for today's video, and I will hopefully come with more videos, and you can ask me more questions. I will definitely put my number on the on somewhere in the screen. I'm trying to do that. Let me see if I'm able to do it. Thank you, and I will see you in my next video.